Hello everybody, the Lawn Gnome is here, and you have come to Journey's End.
What can you see on the horizon? Why do the white gulls call across the sea?
So here we are at the final special 3-part Throwback Day finale, in which we take a look once again at the greatest film trilogy ever put together in modern film. And yes, that is the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and today we are going to discuss the final installment, which is none other than The Return of the King. Once again, based on the novel of the same name by J.R.R. Tolkien, and I really don't know how to truly sum up this movie because it really is one of the most incredible films I have ever seen. I mean, everything that revolved around this movie pretty much showed you and showed the world just how amazing filmmaking can truly be. Peter Jackson did a true landmark achievement by creating the first science fiction fantasy film to ever win the Best Picture Oscar at the Academy Awards. And not just the Best Picture Oscar, but we're talking about all 13 Academy Awards that this film was nominated for. It won every single one of them. And it was no doubt deserving. I mean, I truthfully believe that it still would have been great to see some of the actors get nominated and possibly win, because the thing that made this movie so incredible was the fact that it took every single character that had been introduced in the first two films, because there really wasn't anything new as far as any characters that were important to the story. Now, granted, I'm referring to the extended edition of Return of the King, because in the actual theatrical release, John Noble, who played Faramir and Boromir's father Denethor, shows up for the first time, but when you purchase the extended edition, he actually makes an appearance in a flashback in the Two Towers. So as far as I'm concerned, he showed up in the Two Towers. But everybody from the Hobbits to Gandalf to Legolas to Gimli, to Saruman, to even Sauron himself, everybody just had such a gargantuan role. Everyone had such incredible moments. As I have mentioned in previous videos, I think that this movie has one of the greatest moments in film history when Sam sees Frodo lying at the steps of Mount Doom and he just can't carry the ring. And he says to Frodo, "I can't carry the ring, Mr. Frodo, but I can carry you." And then the score from Howard Shore, which later on ends up being the final track in the film, which is sung beautifully by Annie Lennox, and that is Into the West. He throws Frodo over his shoulders and with all of his might brings him to the entrance of Mount Doom. That just shows you how epic and beautiful this film is. The special effects blew me away. The Battle of Pelennor was incredible when you saw all of the details and all the elements that made this battle one of the most amazing things film has ever graced the screen with. Now, there are a couple of people that did have their gripes with the movie. I mean, of course, the whole encounter of Shelob does not happen in Return of the King. It actually happens in the Two Towers. But if you actually take a look at the book and you read carefully, they are so high up, Frodo and Sam, when they're entering Shelob's lair, that they can actually see a major battle going on beyond the hills of Mordor, and that, of course, is the Battle of Pelennor, which actually does take place in Return of the King. So, as far as I'm concerned, it makes sense to do it when it happened. And another thing that a lot of people were upset about, I mean, I wasn't, but it was the ending of the story, because the book ends the story the same way, but right before it, there's an event that just seems so out of place and doesn't make sense. If you don't plan on reading the book, I'm just going to let you know what it was. Basically, Saruman and Wormtongue take over the Shire and try to control the Hobbits, and the Hobbits return and take him down. where does that even make sense? I think that what they did, especially with the extended edition, because the scene with Saruman and Wormtongue does not show up in the theatrical release, but in the extended edition, it just makes so much sense, and then when they finally return home, you just get the proper ending that they truly deserve, and that ending is truly a happy, happy ending. I cried. It was a beautiful thing. Everything after they officially vanquish the forces of evil is just tearful, joyful happiness throughout. And even Viggo Mortensen and Billy Boyd actually sing to their audience. That's incredible. So much, in fact, that Billy Boyd was invited back to do the final song in The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. So I just love the fact that this was such an effort from everybody, from story writers to directors to cast to people who were just working the sets. This really was a precious baby. And yes, I am using that word for a reason. They really poured their hearts and soul out to make this trilogy what it was, and it couldn't have concluded on a better way possible. So like you didn't see this one coming, I am giving The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, 4 out of 4. I mean, come on, how can I give it anything less? As of now, that's all that I'm going to say. It was great to watch these films again, just to bring my reviews to you guys, so I hope you enjoyed them. And if you have never seen Lord of the Rings, or haven't even read the books, I would highly suggest this. The movies are so much better than the books. You don't need to read the books, but if you want to read them for the sake of knowing that you read them, I would definitely say pick up the books, because that's pretty much what I did. There were no movies when I was picking up these books to read them, so I was glad that I did. But the movies are definitely a treasure, and they will be a treasure for generations to come. So thank you very much for watching all 3 of these parts, and I hope that you guys enjoy, and I hope you enjoy The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies when you see it in theaters. I know I'm sure that I will, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Actions speak louder than words.
Know where the road then takes me, I cannot tell. We came all this way, but now comes the day to be